As a young architect, early on I became very, very interested in architectural history, and I started collecting books. It was an obsession, and it seemed like a lot of money that I didn't have went into buying a copy of a now out of print version of whatever, because I just had to have it. But the library has accumulated over my lifetime and my career as an architect, and was always something that I turned to for as a resource in my own work. If I was trying to understand, for example, Spanish colonial revival architecture, I also did it through the books, simply because I admired all those architects, especially those from the early part of the 20th century practicing in Southern California. Absolutely wonderful work, full of diversity and variety, and very richly detailed, and the craftsmanship exquisite. It was first a way of recording my travels in a way that was far more effective than just taking pictures. Doing a drawing of something, whether it's a sketch or a more sort of studied and methodical watercolor, and doing it on site is to really capture your subject, I think, forever up here and in your mind and eyes, indefinitely. And I really enjoyed that. The Tivoli trip was started as a sort of bucket list item for me, where I just said to myself years ago, before I die, I want to go to Villa d'Este and Tivoli and just for 2 weeks sit in the garden and do watercolors. One of the juries that I was on with Stephen Harvey and Michael Reardon, during the lunch break, I mentioned something about it, and that it was something that I always wanted to do, and the two of them sort of said, "Oh, God, that sounds really interesting." And by the end of the lunch, of course, it wasn't just me anymore, it was the two of them and the three of us reaching out to, 10 other people. And thanks to Stephen, I got hooked into a landmark British property, which was this old abandoned Franciscan monastery, very small, on the other side of the canyon to a lot of the water features that emanate from Tivoli, the city. Spending the day together at either Hadrian's Villa or Villa d'Este, out in the open doing watercolors, was just a wonderful thing. We got together a couple of times in the course of the 2 weeks, put all our work out on the refectory table and sort of look at it and kind of critique it. And it was just a great, great thing to do. We ate together. We all lived in the monastery, which each of the cells had been sort of converted into bedrooms. And it was just delightful. What I was always thinking would be kind of fun is, I'm not the only architect that likes to kind of draw and do watercolors. There are many, many of them out there. There's a limited number of them here in Santa Barbara. And I thought if we could do a show and collect enough work by local architects who are artist wannabes, that somehow this maybe could be an interesting show. We all have a connection to Santa Barbara, which is a pretty special place. There's something magical about Santa Barbara that not only appeals to artists and architects, but everybody else. It's that wonderfully Mediterranean part of California where the coastline kind of pivots and faces south, and the ocean comes ashore, and then the land rises up into that mountain chain behind. And you can be here and feel like you're in the Mediterranean somewhere, south of France or whatever. So Santa Barbara has that kind of magic. Architecturally, it clearly has a kind of identity and strong architectural fabric in the Spanish colonial revival architecture that was promoted here from the aftermath of the 1925 earthquake onwards, which is why Santa Barbara looks like a Spanish village.